Hello, how are you? My name's Penny. I live in the southeast of England with my husband Pete and my 4 chickens. So if you're usually watching me, welcome back and thank you for spending your time with me. I do so appreciate it. And if you're new here, well, what can I tell you? I just have a chat. I tell you a little fascinating fact where nature is interacting with science. I find that fascinating myself. I do a little film of a little walk, or well, this week it's about my chickens. I just went down there because they're in lockdown. Chickens are in lockdown at the minute and they're all cooped up because of bird flu. Last year it was the same. I mean, I've had chickens for 12 years and I've only ever known it, a couple of years out of those 12. But it seems like a general thing now. And yeah, last year it was till April. So we try and spend as much time with them, but that's sometimes not how life is, and they look after themselves and they get along so well. So you can usually keep a chicken busy with food, so it's finding ways for them to make their food last, putting it in different containers, putting it in different places. Anyway, the film's about my chickens. Well, last week I did a little cooking slot and I didn't film me making the buns, and I've had lots of requests. We want to see it. So actually, there is a little confession because the buns that we made last week, we've eaten. Well, Nicola, my daughter, popped in with baby and of course she had a couple. No, I think she had one. Mum took some home. Well, I don't have to tell you where everyone went. They've all been scoffed. So I made another batch and I thought, well, I might as well film making these. So last week I was chatting about making the bun bit, and this week I show you rolling them out. And then I did have a request, can we see you tasting them? So I taste them too. So I hope you enjoy that. Come in. No, love. No thanks. No thanks.
Right.
It's all online.
Yeah. They haven't done the paper, whether they're coming.
Okay.
So I can get all the rest put in.
Right.
You don't want Lamberts or anything, do you?
No. Yes, well, keep it real, eh? He's just sorting the rubbish out. Oh, well, I think he thinks you're one of the family now. So what? You see, I lose track. So you've got a fascinating fact. What's it about? It's about the Greater Wax Moth. Now, I found it interesting because I have had my hearing tested lately, and what I suffer with is tinnitus. And they said hearing aids could help. And when I find it particularly bad is when I'm watching television in the evening. I find it sounds like I'm underwater. And most programs, I don't know if you notice this, but most programs now have copious amounts of music. I mean, it's a chatty program, but no, we have to have music playing as well. And that plays havoc. So I borrowed some hearing aids. Oh, I like them. Just to wear while I'm watching telly. Of course, I've had to give them back now, and they're rather expensive. So I'm thinking about, shall I get them or shall I go to my doctor and ask about NHS? That's where I am at the minute. Why did I tell you that? Oh, yes. So the hearing of the Greater Wax Moth. Well, I'll tell you about it in that bit. But what I didn't tell you about in that bit was the fact that they're called a wax moth because they lay their eggs in hives. And to a beekeeper, they're a bit of a pest because they lay all their eggs and they confuse the two bits of the two things you bring up with the honey in. They confuse them together. Would you call them combs? I know, I don't. Anyway, you know what I mean, don't you? So, yeah, they're a bit of a pest, but at the same time, they've got the most wonderful hearing that's helping science now. So, what else? Oh, I know. Pete and I went out for a walk And on the way back, I said, come on, let's have a chat. And we sat down and did a chat. I didn't do any outtakes. There are outtakes, but I kept them in because people seem to like them. So, yeah, I think we have a few false starts. So that's what this episode's about. Pete, the fascinating fact, a little film, me rolling out my bun mixture, my dough, and this little chat now and a bit of TA. TA is transactional analysis, and it's really helping some people. Some people might not fancy it, might just listen a bit, but other people are really benefiting, and I'm so pleased. That makes my heart sing to know that you're really making big changes in their lives. So well done, that's what I can say. So let's get on with my little chat, not too long because I went way over time with the buns. Now, I mentioned reading a little bit last week, and I wanted to read The Farmer's Year. I've got it here now. It's called The Farmer's Year by Claire Leighton. And I emailed the publishers, and because it's a lot, she wrote it a long, long time ago. And I said, in the early 30s she wrote it. And I said, can I read it? And they said no, because we've got the publishing rights. And we're so sorry about that. But no. So I would say, let me just show you. It's got a little bit of reading for every month, only a short bit, and one of her wood engravings. So, and the story goes on. It's, it's a story. It's not, so it's only a page, that's January. And then you've got a beautiful wood engraving. And there's a little bit throughout the Farmer's Year. If you fancied that, I can really recommend it. So that's my book of the month. I've made, my daughter Kim, she said, Mum, can you make me an iPad bag? Well, I didn't have the iPad with me. She gave me the measurements, and I have seen another one I want to make. So that is it for my bags. Well, I've just been trying them out. Why not? I'm in the mood. And that's the thing about crafting. When you're in the mood, you do it. When you're not, you put it in your project bag, have it at a whip, and then go back to it when you're in the mood. You see, I want to make my little bear. I'm not in the mood. Why? Because I have to read the pattern. And I would know at the minute, want to do things where I don't have to think. I'm making these project bags, I don't have to think. I just cut it out and sit in front of the machine. So yeah, but other times you want to do something that you've got to think how many knit for 3, turn and all that. So it'll get done. But now I've got a little pile of project bags with my whips in, and that keeps me going. Kim said, I'm feeling a bit low, Mum. I said, why? She said, because I finished doing all the squares of my Sandra Paul blanket. Now I've got to crochet them together, and I'm feeling a bit lost because I finished, if you see what I mean. So I said to her, I think that's why people might have whips, because then you can go and do that and do that. You never quite come to the end, and that's a nice feeling. That only came to me this morning. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But anyway, here's my iPad case. Pocket there, another one there, a little button there, handmade with love. Lining, I bought the lining at Hobbycraft. It's a nice weight cotton, and that saves, I got interrupted then by the dustbin men going past. So yeah, it's a nice weight cotton, and it's ideal for lining these bags. So I hope her iPad fits. So that's that. Another Beatrix Potter fat quarter. So that's that. Let me just take my sip of tea. So that's it. That's my little intro. So shall we have a fascinating fact? And then I'll come back on. I'll see you in a minute then. The Greater Wax Moth can hear high-pitched sound better than any known creature in the world. Yet its ears are very simple in structure, each being about the size of a pinhead. For years, the greater wax moth's hearing has been a subject of study. More recently, scientists at the University of Strathclyde, Scotland, tested the moth's hearing with a wide range of sounds. They measured the vibrations of these tympanal membranes and recorded the activity of their auditory nerves. The eardrum still responded when exposed to sounds at a frequency of 300 kHz. By comparison, bat echolocation has been recorded at up to 212 kHz. The hearing of dolphins peaks at 160, and humans do not hear beyond 20 kHz. Researchers would like to use the superior hearing capability of the greater wax moth as the basis for new technology. How? To help make better and smaller microphones, says Dr. James Windmill of the University of Strathclyde. These could be put in a wide range of devices, such as mobile phones and hearing aids. Interesting, isn't it, how a small moth can really help us. And hearing aids have come on an absolute bundle now. It's just that they're so expensive. But there we are, a lot of research goes into it, doesn't it? Okay, so what's next? Should we do some buns? Yeah, I fancy some buns. So I'll see you the other side of my cooking bit. See you in a minute. I've got 175 grams of currants, 175 of raisins, the same of sultanas, the same of dried cranberries, 100 grams of mixed peel, 1 small cooking apple, 125 grams of butter, 50 grams of almonds, and they say chop the almonds, but they're a little bit hard for our teeth, so we use ground almonds. 225 grams of light muscovado sugar. Well, I had about half of that, and the other was dark muscovado sugar, so that went in. 1 teaspoon of mixed spice, the juice and rind of a lemon, and 100 ml of sherry. And it takes, well, at maximum 10 minutes. It's beautiful, it's unctuous now. And I'm going to put that in a jar, ready for my buns when I make them. Right, so I realised last week that I didn't roll the buns out, and people wanted to see me roll the buns out. So I'm going to make 3 different lots. So I've made double the mixture. Last week, underneath, show more. Now, if you're watching it on the television, you can't press show more. So if when you look at it on your phone or your iPad, you press show more, then all the recipe will come up. I've written it out. So what I've got here on my workbench is creme pâtissière, and you can, oh, can you see it there? You know, it's okay. I haven't added the extra cream in. Didn't need it. I've got some icing sugar because I'm going to make some icing. I've got, oh, hang on. I've got some homemade mincemeats. This is John Waite's recipe for the buns, and he makes mincemeat and marzipan buns. So what I'm going to do today, and I was thinking about it, why do I like these buns? Why do I like a bun rather than a cake? It's because there's no sugar in this, is it? It's really like a bread, well it is, it's a bread dough. So I've made double what he says in the recipe because we eat them. And, well, I put them all in the freezer, and then for afters we'll have 1 each. What do you fancy? Mincemeat and marzipan? Do you fancy an apple and custard? Or do you fancy plain with just lemon zest in it and icing on the top? Yeah, so I've done my apple as well. So I've been busy this morning. So I'm going to attempt to film it. I'm not, you know, we'll see how we go. Now, John Waite says, don't put the, oh, I need the rolling pin. He says, what does he say? Put the flour on what you want to roll out, not on the rolling pin. Makes sense, doesn't it? Right, now I've got all this. So I put oil around it. I whisked that round for 5 minutes. So that's all that it's needed, for 5 minutes. And then I've just popped it on the side with a plate over it. And as you can see, there's oil on the bottom there, so that's good. That one, as you can see, I don't want to knead that with the oil. I knock it back a bit. Now that doesn't take too much. I haven't got a lot of effort. That doesn't take too much effort. But don't forget, I've got double the amount here. So I'm going to put this in 3. Marzipan and mincemeat, apple and custard, lemon zest and icing. So I want to cut that into 3. Then I know where I am. Oh, are you watching Junior Bake Off? It's on BBC4 at 5 o'clock every night. Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, these little dots are cooking, and you think, oh no, and Paul Hollywood says that is better than you can get in the tent sometimes. They're absolutely, and it's such fun. Yeah, so there's one lot. I told you last time, when I first got married, we used to have Tupperware parties. Do you remember those? Did you have them? And I bought this. It's, you know, what I'm rolling out on at a Tupperware party. And there's number 2. And here's lot 3. Righty-ho. Now I'm going to attempt to show you what I do. I haven't got overheads and all of that. I don't know. At the minute, that's beyond me. I just sit and chat. So I've got 3 balls of dough there, all right? I'll work with that one. I'll put that one over there and that one there. Now, if I bring you a bit closer, that's if I'm going to do it properly. So I'm going to sprinkle some flour. Now that has to be rolled out pretty much thin. Let me move here. Yeah. So it's very stretchy because it's like a bread dough. Well, it is a bread dough, isn't it? So I like to just stretch it out a bit. It's not hard. It's not hard on my arms or my hands. I'm just easing it before I do it with the rolling pin. That's it, that will do. Now, oh, I know what I've got to get. I've got to get some dental floss because John Waite said cut them with dental floss rather than a knife. I thought I'd do them with both and then we can see the difference. So I'll do this lot with a knife and then the next lot I'll do with dental floss. Because he said you go like that and then you see it doesn't squodge it down. Whereas when you do it with a knife, so you think you've got there but you haven't. It needs to be, won't it? It'll be the whole of Chinwag if I film all this. So I'm going to have to cut it and I'll see you in a minute when this is the right size. Right, I've sort of stretched it with my hands as well because it's quite, yeah, it's quite elastic, isn't it? So as you can see, I rolled it, but then I stretched it and I rolled it and I stretched it. And it's about the size of a roasting tin. I'll show you. There it is. I've got a little bit of a tear in it, but I'll go round. The good thing about filming is that if it doesn't work, I won't put it up. I will, because, you know, if it doesn't work for me, then we need to find a different way. So you don't need a lot of marzipan. You just need that little tiny bit that I had. Okay? Right. Oh dear, this dough, it won't stop rising. These bits of dough here that I put, they're still rising. Come on now. You just need to knock you back. Isn't it lovely? I mean, just whizzing round 5 minutes. I suppose if you had a bread maker, you could just put it in there and let the bread maker do it. But if not, yeah. Right, come on, you get knocked back. Okay, now for the bit that's messy. Where can I put that? Over there. Right. So now I'm going to roll it up. I want to do it tightly. Take my time. Don't go whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just gently look, you see it's quite strong. It's not splitting. But just roll it. And it hasn't squashed out the sides. In fact, I've got dough with nothing in it, so that'll teach me. See, it's all a learning curve, isn't it? Look, these bits of dough haven't got anything in, but that's quite good, really. Better than all squashing out, isn't it? There we are. Yeah, pull that back, squash it down, make it firm. Tote that barge, lift that bale. Right, oh, yeah, that's where the split is, but that's all right. We're okay. We'll take that bit of marzipan out. All right. Now, I'm going to use the knife on these. Now I'm going to cut that off because it's just plain dough. Use that in a minute. And this off because it's just plain dough. Oh, no, there's a bit of, well, it's more or less plain dough. Okay, let's get those shot. All right, here we are. Now, we're just going to divide up. That's it. That's pretty good. Can you see I've just done it like that? And there it is. Now he says, put it in a muffin tin and then it stays small but it comes up. But I did that the first time, but I'm just going to put them in a tray next to each other. I'll show you when I've done it. I'm going to put it where that little roll, end of roll, is down. I'm going to put 4 across. I'm just putting it on a tray. You see? So that's going to go down. Okay. Because you can break them apart, can't you? Because they're buns. Bins and buns, right. Okay. That's a big one. Okay. Right, I'm back. I've got my dental floss. And what I've done is, oh, let me put that somewhere where it's not in the way of the camera. That's it. What I've done is, I've done a lot of it with my hands. Can you see? That's how big it is. And it's very pliable. And so I did a little bit with the rolling pin, but most of it I just pulling it into shape with my hands, and that's a nice oblong shape now. So what I'm going to do now is, now this is why they're not sweet. It's not full of sugar. There's no sugar in this, a tiny little bit just to make the yeast rise. And then I don't put sugar in with my apple. And, well, there's a bit of sugar in the custard, but not a great deal. Nothing that, you know, you'd go bonkers over. So, yeah. So now I'm going to, I've got my apple done. That's cold. Always a good thing, eh? I don't want it too wet. I don't want it too wet, so I'm just going to use my hands. It would be a good thing, thinking, oh, that's warm. That's definitely warm. Oh, we're going to be in trouble here, girls and boys. It's definitely warm. And I did that quite a long while ago. We better get that spread on quick. We don't want the big bits. Definitely. It's delicious though. Yeah, so you can see I'm spreading that on. I can't move the camera. It could do with going over a bit, but I can't do it because, now I'm not going to put too much more on. Well, there's 6 apples there. They weren't enormous, but they weren't small. Right? There we are. Do you reckon this will roll out? Who knows? And we don't want them heaped up, do we? Okay, I'll just wash my hands. Now last time it said, here's the creme pat, custard. Last time it said mix cream in with it. Well, that's all right, I think, if you want it. It tastes gorgeous. 4 eggs, sugar, a little bit of flour. Mix it all up and then add it to your milk that's been scalded with the vanilla. I think that'll do, because it all gets, let me see. That is so gorgeous. If you like that sort of thing. Now, I've got to roll this out. Let's get you a bit more. You can't see me, but you don't want to see me. Now you want to see what a mess I make. So I'm going to try and do it. I've got big lumps of apple. I'm going to try and do it as tight as I can. That is the secret. Just slowly rolling, just slowly rolling that up. If it oozes out at the end, then I'll just, you know, it's on a clean top here. I'll just put it back in the bowl. Maybe I put too much on. And then I've got a lot at the end there that I haven't put it on. It's the apples could have been a bit more, not so lumpy. But they're going to be lovely. It's the taste, isn't it? As Paul Hollywood says, that doesn't look that good, but boy, does it taste good, he said. You've got to get your hands under it, otherwise it gets too big. Because it's so full of air. I've got to try and get that so it... I'm licking my lips here while I'm doing it. You can't see that. What do you think of that technique? Oh, we'll just plug up the ends there. Now last time it was like this and they tasted lovely, so I'm not going to worry. Now I've come to a big squodge. Put that back in the bowl. Apples and custard for afters. my own recipe. I haven't found one. Maybe that's why. Now I'm going to pull that over tight. And I want to try and get that tight. Oh. It's not like the mincemeat ones. But there we are. Oh, I suddenly thought I hadn't pressed record. Okay, now I'm going to put the mince ones on the cooker. Just out the way. Now I'm going to attempt to get, oh, I know. I'm going to attempt to get this on there. Right, okay, we'll use this. Lay that under there. It grows while you look at it, honestly. It's like a sea slug. And then pull. That's cut it, you see. That's good. We've got one. Lift it up. Two. Oops. Two. Okay. Right. I'll show you it in a minute. Don't run out. I think I should have more. Oh, these are like the pasties now. It's turning into a pasty one, isn't it? There we are. Oh. Because don't forget that dough is going to rise up again. There we are. Let's get underneath. Oh. That certainly works. I don't think a knife would have cut through that, would it? Squidge that back in between the layers. I'm not going to lick my fingers because other people are going to eat this apart from me. Right, there we go. I could take it out the case, couldn't I? Silly. Oh, they're huge. How lovely is that? I've just got this bit left. Could do with a little bit of flour. Okay, I'm going to roll that onto there. Oh. You see, it's like the pasties. Oh, I've got to wash my hands again now. Let's get a bit of this cut off. We don't need the... That's it, we don't need the thing. Right, somehow, do you think we can get this to work? Oh, it's because the apples were warm. There we go. We'll see. Don't panic. And there we are. Oh. I just put too much stuff in, that's all. There we are. Oh. So that is a good lesson. You need half the amount of stuff. So I think I did it thinner last time. I got carried away this time. You just need it thinly spread. That will be all right. I've left the tap running. 2 more, okay. I've got room for 2 more. So here we are. Here's my mincemeat and marzipan. Here's my apple and custard. And here's my plain with the lemon zest in. And I'm going to put icing on the top of those. So I'm going to put a clean tea towel on each of those, and I'll come back and show you in about an hour. And the oven's on now. The oven's on for 200, 220, depending on your oven. Mine will be 200 because it cooks quickly. Don't look at that. You see, it'll stay. It'll be all right. You see, you can reshape it, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to leave them. It's not about bothering. I want to see what happens. So it's a taste test.
I've eaten the second one.
You've eaten it? What did you think?
Very nice. I like the mincemeat one. I like the mincemeat because it's homemade, isn't it?
Homemade mincemeat. You like the mincemeat ones? I love these apples and custard ones. It's gorgeous. There we are. Oh, it's delicious because that apple's all cooked lovely now. I'm going to cook it in a roll next time and just cut off a piece.
Why not?
Yeah, saves doing all that cutting.
What's this one then? Just plain with icing on?
No, it's got lemon zest in it. He likes the homemade mincemeat ones. I like the apple and custard. That's how they are.
It's alright. Should have had it first.
Ah, yes, because you've got a lot of flavour.
Been...
But these, you know how I love iced buns.
There's nothing like iced buns.
Oh, I think they are.
Yeah.
They will go lovely in the freezer. Oh, they're all a success. But instead of going through all that rigmarole of cutting the apple and custard ones out, I'm going to cook it and then cut it. Yeah. Do you like them?
Yeah. That's my favourite though.
The mincemeat's his favourite. Would you like icing on them?
No.
No. I would.
I should lemon ice.
Okay.
What it tastes like. If it's better.
I'll do some lemon ice.
Right, is that me? Can I go there?
Yeah.
And cook?
He's got his smoking jacket on, but he doesn't smoke. He's fully dressed.
I'll just put me pipe down actually.
What?
I'll just put me pipe down.
Oh, your pipe. Oh. Righty-ho then.
Right.
Oh, that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, they're beautiful. They really taste gorgeous. And although they look squidgy, I'm going to cook it in a roll next time. Why cut it all up? Because then when it's all cooked and it'll all be doughy, you know, then you can cook it and cold. Much better. I'll let you know how that goes. So, shall I do the transactional analysis? We're looking at time structuring. And last week we looked at withdrawal and how if we withdraw into ourselves, that's all right for short periods of time, but not for long periods of time, because we're not getting our strokes then. And we all need strokes to feel good, to keep ourselves buoyed up. So I think I put on the screen, I started in episode 12. If you wanted to run through and follow, if not, well, I won't need to say if not. It's episode 12 if you want to. So we're going to talk about rituals this week. That's the second part of past timing. Now, when we all have rituals, don't we? In England, we say hi, hello, handshake, not so much now. So we've designed all these other things that we can do because we need to give each other strokes. Yeah. And so, yeah, even though it's that handshake, we say hi. It's a ritual, isn't it? How are you? I mean, in India, namaste, they're taught to do that. We're taught from very small children and we obey controlling parent. So we're usually in adapted child when we do these rituals. I was thinking, there's a lot of rituals, isn't there? Maybe in the church you know, in various religions, let's put it like that. You know, the priest or the vicar or whoever says something and then someone will say something back. Everybody knows where they are, and you generally feel good when you come out. Why? Because you've received the strokes you've been part of. So they're not high-grade strokes, they're not high-quality strokes, but nevertheless they give you that feeling of well-being because you've joined in that ritual. Da-da-da, da-da-da. How are you? Fine, thank you. And so we get these strokes, and that's what we all need. So if you can think about it not being a stroke, well, the way to prove that is if I hold out my hand to you and say, hi, how are you? And you just ignore me. Oh, I feel a bit, I didn't get my stroke that I imagined I would get. So strokes, ritual strokes, are predictable. And that's why we feel good. Now, if you decided in childhood that it was risky to exchange strokes, they don't want to hear what I'm saying. You know, no, I'll just listen. I'm a good listener, actually. Why are you a good listener? Because for you, sharing is risky. Well, then ritual strokes are a great way of you getting strokes. They're a plus for you. If you're in a conversation where you know what's expected, you feel good, but you're getting your strokes. So that's the second way we can get strokes. Withdrawal, that's a little bit risky if we do it for too long. And rituals, you know, even sitting in that GP surgery that we talked about. I might just look up and say, hello, how are you? Yeah, I don't say, do you come here often, do I? But I say, it's a bit busy today. Yeah, yes, the person says, how are you? Not too bad, but that's why I'm here. I'm for my general checkup. We're starting now. It's that we've started just by the, hi, how are you? That's the ritual part of the conversation. Somebody might just say, fine, thanks. Leave it at that. We've exchanged that stroke. So I hope you understand that. Withdrawals and rituals. So now I'm going to lead into a little chat that I had with Pete. That's really, you know, is it a ritual? No, it's not a ritual, but it's I'll leave you to decide. I'll see you then, afterwards, I mean. Well, actually, while we're doing it, because I'm part of it, so I'll see you in a minute. Well, we've just come back from our walk again, and we were chatting as we walked round there. Round our block, I've just done it, you know, I've looked it up. Round our block, down the road, round by the farm and back up, it's 2 miles. That's not bad, is it? For, you know, around the block. Yeah, we left at 12:15 and we got back about, 1:20. So it takes us an hour.
Well,
but that's looking at everything. Yeah, we don't just walk, do we? So we feel a bit stretched, and we were chatting while we were there, and we thought we'd come back and have a chat with you guys. You've got a coffee, I've got a tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll sip it. And we're going to talk about Red Rover days.
Red Rover days. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
What? I've got a bit of orange. What's that? Orange?
Yeah. Have you shaved?
Yeah.
You have got it all round your mouth. No, you've got orange all round your mouth. Get a tissue there. I'll cut this off. Well, you don't want to sit there and do it with all orange round your mouth, do you?
You've got a big...
That's it.
Have a magnifying glass to see it.
Right.
So
we're going to start again now.
Are we?
Yeah, we always have to get into it. Right, so nice to see you. We've just been out for a walk. And
round the block.
Around the block, as you do. And we've just made a drink and thought, let's have a little chat with you. Pull you nearer, otherwise you're too far away. I can't see you. So, what are you going to talk about today, Pete?
Red Rovers.
Red Rovers, okay. Where are you going to start?
Red Rover. Well, Red Rovers they were, you bought them and you could go on any London Transport bus free. Well, it's not free because you bought the ticket, but it lasts all day. And me and my mate Mick used to do that quite often when we were about. I was about 12 when we started, and then we did it till I was about 13, just over 13. Then I don't know what we did after that, but we did it for a couple of years, I suppose. Not every week because we couldn't afford it. But
So 57, 58, you'd get yourself a Red Rover. And
58, 59, 56, or something like that. It was around that time anyway, when the trolley buses were still going.
I think I'm going to have to edit that bit. It's going on too long about when it was.
Well, edit the whole lot, start again.
Okay. Right. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, no. Right, we've just been out for a walk. I would say
3 walks we've been out for.
No, we've plopped ourselves down, and we're going to talk about Red Rovers.
Yeah.
So, when Pete was about 12.
That's it.
Yeah, 12, 13.
Oh, no, you've got to do it again
No,
now.
that's it. 1945 he was born, work that out yourself.
Yeah.
Then
12, 13,
yeah,
something like that.
he used to go with his friend.
On Red Rovers.
Red Rovers.
Which allowed you on any bus, any London Transport bus.
Right.
On
a Saturday.
And you could go anywhere you wanted. You just jump on one bus, get onto the next, and we loved it. We really had great times.
So you started off at Potter's Bar.
Potter's Bar, you go up and meet. He lived at the top of Potter's Bar, I lived at the bottom, so catch the bus up, and we'd stand at the crossroads.
Right.
Because if you went straight on it, you used to go to Wood Green that way, and
Right.
if you went the other way, it used to go to Finchley. If you turn right,
Okay.
we never went the other Brookman's Parkway because it was going out into the countryside.
You didn't want to go in the country, you wanted to go to London
That's
town.
it. So that's what we did, and whatever bus came first, we just jumped on it.
Oh, righty-ho.
So we'd get on, and then maybe we'd get off in Barnet and get on a trolley bus,
Right.
and that'd take you down to Finchley and all around that sort of northwest, isn't it, of London?
Right.
Oh, more often than not, it'd be the 29 which took us into London. The 29 used to go from South Mims to Victoria in those days.
And what did you do when you got to London?
We just jumped on and off buses and tried to get lost.
Tried to get lost?
Yeah, well, we wanted to go places and then we'd have to find our way back. And it was all good fun.
Adventurous.
Adventurous, yeah. So we'd be jumping on and off buses and literally jumping on and off because they didn't have doors then. I mean, you could jump on a bus at the traffic lights.
Yeah.
Or you could, if it was going slow, you could jump on. I mean, the conductor would probably be upstairs getting tickets. And, you know, sometimes they tried to stop you. They didn't really care.
No.
And then you jump off when the bus was...
If a bus was stationary, you could get on it.
If the bus station you didn't get, you got on the ones that were moving. It's more fun. Yeah, you jump off one as it was just slowing down, and then you run and jump on the next one.
Yeah.
And we used to go all over the place. We went to the museums.
Mm-hmm.
We went to...
well, it was first of all your mum told you where not to go, didn't she?
Oh, yes. She said, don't go into Soho.
Right.
That was the first place we went.
Right.
Of course it would be. Telling somebody to do it when they're on their own.
Yeah.
You know. But I liked Soho then. It was great. And but the one thing we always
people
did,
lived in Soho then. Do you tell me?
Oh, there was little artisan shops and you know, little places where they
there was
made
the bits
things
of Soho.
Oh, they were it was seedy.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It
no.
wasn't. And there was a lovely community in there because later on when I worked at the Trocadero, that was just opposite Soho, and I was in there all the time. I knew quite a lot of people that lived there.
Right.
Well, Mick. Yeah. When he became he became a photographer.
Yeah.
He had a studio in Frith Street, I think it was.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah,
Ronnie Scott's.
Yeah, near Ronnie. Well, not where Ronnie Scott's was then, but where it is now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we.
But anyway, getting back to Red Rovers.
Yeah.
The other thing we did it every time we went there. We went to Mick's auntie's.
Oh,
Because
right.
Mick's auntie lived in New Westminster in a high-rise block. It was one of the first, well, I think it was one of the first that were built. But it was not like the high-rise blocks you see, that rise blocks, but it was, I think, I don't know, 15 floors or something. It was high enough, and she lived right at the top.
Yeah.
And we'd go up and get a cup of tea and a bit of cake or a sandwich. And she always loved to see us, so I loved to see Mick. And then she had a balcony. We could go out on the balcony and they had a beautiful view right across up Thames, up to Tower Bridge, right, you know, right. Because and St Paul's was massive, biggest, tallest building.
Yeah.
And
you could see it all from there.
Could see it all from there. So we always did that. Depending on the weather, we'd go into the little cinemas that used to only show cartoons. They were cartoon theatres, and because you could go in, it ran, you know, continuously. So you'd go in, and then you
come out
when you
started.
Or you could look. You could stay there and see it again if you wanted to.
Well, when we went to the cinema, Pete,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't a cartoon, it's little cinemas on the corner type of thing. If we went to see a film, you could go in halfway and stay and see it round 2 or 3 times.
Well, you said we came in here.
Yeah, we used to say, is this where we came in, didn't
this is where we came in, yeah.
Not like now, you get to book a viewing and you go in and watch the film and you leave. No, you could stay there all day if you wanted to.
So you got the ending before you had the beginning.
Yes.
It didn't matter.
No.
But yeah. And yes, so we went out. The furthest we went south, I think, was the Imperial War Museum. I can't remember where that is now. And then we'd go out to like Alperton, places like that. And,
Alperton.
And left to do...
That's Uxbridge way, isn't it? Yeah.
And then the other way, if we went east, we'd go as far as where your auntie used to live, where the Ford factory was. Dagenham, around there. Yeah, so
my nan and granddad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you skirted.
We went. Not every. You know, it wasn't the same. It took a couple of years. We did it for, I think. So.
Yeah. But quite an adventure. And when you think kids of 12 and 13 on their own exploring London, what fun! What larks.
It was great larks, as they said.
Yeah. But what time did you get home?
Well, in the beginning, the first time we did it, we got home about 6:30.
Yeah.
But then gradually,
later and later,
about 9, 10 o'clock, because my mum and dad were pretty, and so was Mick's mum and dad. They were pretty, you know, always let's get on with it. I mean, they'd just gone through a war, hadn't they? So
yes, just gone. You were born in the war, so let him
really
get
matter.
It's peacetime. You can go out, lad. Well, because as you said, if you weren't up there doing that, you were out over the fields and out all day anyway.
Oh, from dawn till dusk.
Yeah.
We didn't do the Red Rovers much in the summer, I don't think, because there was too much other things to do.
So it was more of a winter thing.
Mostly winter, autumn, winter and early spring sort of thing. But we did it a few times.
So there we are. We're reminiscing again, but today it's glorious weather.
It is.
It's Sunday the 9th. My brother was born, and I remember the day he was born because I always used to get up and get in my mum and dad's bed. I hated sleeping on my own.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember going in there.
She still does.
I know. That's got to be cut, hasn't it? We're a married couple, love.
I know.
I like sleeping on
I
my own.
meant it was the other way round.
Yes, I like sleeping on my own. Not with him. He's a fidget bum, as you know. Anyway, I remember going in and my mum wasn't there. And I said, I hadn't heard a thing. And I said to my dad, where's Mum? And he said, oh, gone to the hospital to have your brother or sister get in. And we both went to sleep. And outside it was thick snow and ice. And I remember then the next day, we all went round to Nanny's and she gave me ice cream, which was quite a treat then. And it was all celebrations because my brother Chris had been born. Mm. So what a different day today. It's not cold. It's bright sunshine. And he's 66, 7 years younger than me. Mm. Anyway, we're going to say we have a habit of waffling, so we say cheerio, see you next time.
Yep, cheers, I've got dinner to cook.
Yeah, bye. So that was the quickest goodbye and hello, wasn't it? So I'm just going to say a real goodbye, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sorry I've gone over time this week. I usually like to give myself 50 minutes, but I know I've just gone over the hour. So there we are. I can't do anything about that unless I took one bit out, but there we are. I could take Pete out, couldn't I? But then, I can hear people say, oh no. So I'll see you next week, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. Well, it's vegetable peelings. I soften them in the microwave, and there's a couple of little apples that, well, they like them. It's quite warm, that, because I thought they might like something warm. Might be a bit too warm. Good girl, Light Sussex. She's got a bare bottom. She molted one time, and well, I think she sits on her perch too low. She's happy anyway. There's little bee. We call her Beatrice. Yes, she's the smallest one. And she eats well. She's got all her feathers back. That'll keep them occupied. Won't it, girls? You've been having your dust bath under there? You getting fed up down here shut in, or are you all right? Good girl. Yes. I think we've had Light Sussex about 5 years, so she's our old girl. Yes, you are, aren't you? She knows her name, Light Sussex, don't you? Go on, you can do it. Up you get, you do it, you try. Yeah, oh, clever girl.